Hi, we are talking about the case study which is done on our organization named Telstra. My name is Dhanvinder Singh, her name is Lovepreet and is Srujan. I'm giving a brief introduction about Telstra. Telstra Corporation Limited is Australian leading provider of communication network and technologies. Telecommunication, especially like in Telstra, which includes mobile phones, mobile internet, home broadband, are the products of Telstra. And Telstra services included like they are a provider of cyber risk and cyber security services, which has thus many products in the available in the market. And it's not just limited to the information technology. They hold the cyberspace as a risk. Now, Lovepreet will tell about the COBIT and COSO.
Here I would like to tell about COBIT5, the use of COBIT5 in our organization. But before talking about the use of COBIT5, I would like to share some threats of COSO, some drawbacks of COSO and ISO31000. There were some problems in COSO with its internal structure, but not with its external structure. So COSO ERM says that the risks are described as events, and events are described and illustrated by examples of sudden and accurate occurrences. There is no appreciation of the slow changes in circumstances and situations that give rise to some of the most critical risk. And the one thing that COSO is reactive, it is not proactive. Now I would like to talk about the use of COBIT5 framework in our organization, which is Telstra. So it definitely it will overcome the problems which were in COSO and ISO 31000. The COBIT5 would be useful one because it brings out the best from any information and communication technology company, and especially in our organization when the company is Telstra, Australia's largest telecommunication company. So the one thing that COBIT5 focuses equally on the weighing the advantages and profits of the mitigation of the risk at the same time. Now I would like to talk about the principles of COBIT5. It has 5 principles. The first principle takes into consideration the importance of stakeholders, and where the objective of governance is generation of value, risk and resource escalation. Coming to the second principle, it's all about overcoming all the systems, process and the business and profit mitigation, etc. The third principle involves getting the distinct but integrated framework. The fourth principle of COBIT5, it involves the total of 7 enablers. It is all about facilitating a holistic approach. This aids in transforming the guidance which can be brought into practical use in establishments' everyday working. The last and the final principle of COBIT5, it is the process called partition of governance and the establishment's management. Now my friend Srujan will talk about ISO 27001.
So yeah, as she told about the COBIT5 framework, which is actually focused on the profits and also the mitigating risk. So the COBIT5 just talks about the policies, procedures and also the mitigating the risk. So which now we need to talk something about like protecting the organization and like information security. So we have few components which is used for protecting this information. So the information security includes application of protective measures of data being processed, stored or transmitted against data loss. So here we have 3 components. One is confidentiality, one is integrity and one is availability. So confidentiality, like it is in simple terms, it is like unintentional disclosure to unauthorized persons. Like if there is one person who is authorized, so he don't want the other persons to access his stuff. So we need to provide some security for that kind of stuff, that is confidentiality. And next comes to integrity. Integrity is something like, in simple terms, prevention of unauthorized alteration of its content. So like for example, like if some person A is sending some information to B and then C who is sitting and listening to both of them and making alteration to the data, that is like which is not the exact information reaching to the B sent by the A. So this person is making changes to their data without the acknowledgement of these both persons. So yeah, that is something what integrity, and we need to control this stuff in the using this principle. So and next comes to the availability. Yeah, availability is like relevant information needs to be available to the relevant people. That's for example, yeah, CSO of an organization can CEO of organization, he needs to use some data which is like his data, and he can also use the employees data to view their progress and something, but not the employees cannot use the CEO's data. So this comes somewhere like availability. So yeah, there are few terms which we need to be followed for this maintaining this availability. And yeah, so as I've spoke about the few these three components, now we are implementing ISO 27000 series of family into our organization. So 27000 series provides recommendations for establishing implementation, operating, monitoring, reviewing, maintaining, and improving an information security management system. So till now we spoke about mitigating risk and maintaining profits and all the security and procedures. So in 27000 we are going to talk about the cyber security. So in ISO 27000 family, there are like more than dozens of frameworks which comes under 27000 series. So mainly we are going to use about 27001 series of standard, which is the best known standard in the family, providing requirements for an information security management system. Here, so using this family of standards will help our organization to manage security assets and at all the levels and protecting our management, our organization security. And yeah, basically 27000 uses a top-down risk-based approach like anything else. So here in first step we have few define a security policy which we have implemented using COBIT5. So yeah, and define the scope of the information security management system. Scope in the sense like at the user level, what is the scope of the security, and at organization level, what is the scope. So yeah, conducting risk assessments on managing identify risk. So all these comes under the 27000 information security risk management system. So yeah, here are the few 27000 series which comes under the family. So 27001 which we have implemented. So yeah, and so here ISO 27033 which talks about the network security. So as our Telstra is the world's largest communication network and in Australia, so we require this 27033 standard which is talking about network security to protect our channels and our users using our network, and we don't want someone else to come into our network and change our stuff. So and also the application security. So people who are using these our applications, Telstra not only the network service provider, it also provides service for the security to some organizations. So many big companies are linked to it. So we need to implement these application security too at the user level and company which is using our application. So yeah, now my friend Inder is going to explain about the usage of COBIT5 and 27001.
By using COBIT5 and ISO 27000 to Telstra, like we can do with that 4 steps, which was identify, assess, mitigate, and monitor. In first of that, in identify, we conduct a cyber security audit using a COBIT5 like of our control system. We get to know about how secure our system is today and where its vulnerabilities are in the system. And these audit is to be conducted by the people familiar with both security and plant floor operations. And in the assessment, we need to develop a security policies for process control system, like a statement of goals, responsibilities, and accepted behavior required to maintain a secure process environment using ISO 27001. And a security policy should be technology and architecture independent and should omit the implementing procedure and processes. In other words, we can say that the security policy outlines what you want to achieve and not how to do it. Like in the assessment process, there is some cyber threats which includes insider threats, artificial intelligence, machine learning, IoT vulnerabilities, and ransomware, and data breach as well. In the mitigate process, when security goals are defined, which usually involves creating a multi-level network, which we can divide into two parts, like a business network level and process control network level. Then we need some monitoring traffic and identify the malicious activity on the network, and this we will develop a tool named as intrusion detection system IDS, which can range from a simple scan detector and to a high level engine that profiles user behavior to a system take explicit action against a suspected system. On the other hand, IDS also help us to configure our firewall filter by showing what traffic patterns are normal and what traffic patterns to be blocked. This can be done using the ISO27000 framework. In the last stage, like in monitoring, we have to make a security strategy to develop an incident response plan. That many times we have to work with companies that know they already know that they are going to be hacked, but they don't know how to deal with that hacking. Rather than waiting till they were in trouble, these firms should have established, like we can establish a security response team and a process to deal with incidents in advance to make sure that our system are secure as much as we can. The team would monitor, like incident security response team would monitor events and prepare to act in the event of serious incidents. Now Srujan will tell about the securing assets.
So yeah, till now as we are talking about the COBIT5 ERM model and 27000 with cybersecurity model, so now we are going deep into the attacks which already happened in the Telstra. So yeah, Telstra has been brand jacked in the sense something like counterfeiting. So the page of Telstra is being brand jacked, and in the sense they created the same page in the third party created the same page and published it to the users of the Telstra and asked them to pay some amount as they have created the same bill. So this comes under the email scams regularly. So the email goes to the person, to the victim, which acts like it has come from the R organization. So here you can see, so this page shows like it actually comes from the Telstra, and using the same domain, that is mytelstra.com.au. And one thing which is need to be noticed is the browser identifies this page as not secure. So it shows it is not secure over there. So it is not HTTPS. And also the payment page, once after you entering the details, it goes to the payment page, and even the payment page shows that it comes from the same domain telstra.com.au, which is actually not. So even that thing is identified by the browser and it's shown not secure. So one thing we want to implement to avoid these kind of stuff is like using COBIT5 and 27000. So COBIT5 allows us to put the procedures, policies and mitigating the risks. So what we would like to do is create a unique digital signatures over there, and these digital signatures, and using once we have got the digital certificates, we would like to display over there, and using the digital certificates the users will get to know that yeah, this is legitimate stuff. And yeah,
the one attack which is increasing day by day, that is denial of service. Denial of service, in this attackers hack the traffic. They just stop the traffic so that they can access the whole data which is being sent by the users to each other. Nowadays companies are sending data online, like through websites and through other resources. So these attacks are increasing day by day. The one simple thing to stop these attacks, we need a fast and effective protection that can guard our websites and protect our data. So here I would like to mention some points which is followed by Telstra to overcome all the problems. The first one is a flexible mitigation option, in which you have the choice how the hackers are mitigated. So Telstra initiated it, customers initiated, or it was automatic. The second one is fast action protection. Our sensors will measure the traffic in your network infrastructure and send statics to the centralized collectors. are monitoring and detection devices that identify if a pattern has the characteristics of a distributed denial of service attack.
And third one, there is a target protection, like we can use ISO27033 network security. Like if attack is occurred, if we support the attack, then we will redirect the traffic to a cleaning center using border gateway protocol, where we filter the traffic to a source on a destination protocol application, where the user can go through and make sure that this source is not vulnerable.
So yeah, and next comes with the customized solution. Customized solution in the sense like we have the Telstra is having some customized standard packages. Standard packages in the sense if some organization who are using the internet day to day, so they may go with the standard package and they may get the extra attention by the Telstra. So if any kind of attack has been happened on the organization, so they have an alternate channel by which they can continue their work and the work is not disrupted. So yeah, so these standard packages like we can use COBIT5. So COBIT5 talks about the policies and principles. So once the company agrees with them and makes a bond with them to use standard packages, so they can use this. So you can have the customized solutions and have their own portal which is more secure. So for these customized solution, Telstra is having a team which responds faster, so and responds quicker. So these kinds of benefits are the organizations will have when they are using these standard packages. And next thing is great control. Great control in the sense using ISO 27003 and 27004. It talks about the information security management system implementation and also management. So these both frameworks will help the organization to monitor and control and filter the traffic which is coming into their network, and also like if there is any attacks which are going to happen like from the phishing emails which are coming in. So all these attacks can be monitored using ISO 27003 and managed using these two frameworks. So at the end we just want to conclude that so using this framework, COBIT5 framework, we have mitigated the profits and risk and all the stuff. So using 27000 framework we have implemented the risk and information security management system. So using these both we can fortify an organization or Telstra organization which is a global network communication leader and also providing security services to many of the organizations. So there shouldn't be any third party interference and attacks coming in it. So using these both frameworks, they are fortified and there will be less possibility of attacks can happen on the Telstra. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.